What's up, y'all? So a lot has been happening, but this video is pertaining to our cinematography masterclass that we've been working on for probably 5 to 6 months now. We're still working on it, but it's getting so close to being done. So I want to give you basically a sneak peek at one of the episodes that will be included within the program. It's going to be 60 to 75 videos once it's all said and done. Forget film school. Everything you need to know and learn about filmmaking as far as cinematography goes will be taught in this course. So I want to give you guys a little peek at the episode right now, so take a look.
So, I mean, it only seems fitting to start the Lighting 101 with the first light that was ever really made. If you're going back to like Charlie Chaplin films, tungsten was the first light. You know, Thomas Edison, a burning incandescent bulb is what's lighting film sets in the early movies. And that really extended kind of honestly through the 70s, the early 2000s when technology finally changed. Tungsten is 3200, and a lot of people say like, oh, let's just make that tungsten. Tungsten ends up being kind of a reference for that color temperature, but 3200 on the Kelvin scale is where tungsten, where lamps, where a lot of that warmer sort of light tends to be. Most tungsten units come with barn doors. Barn doors mount to the front of the light, and it allows you to shape the light and mount gels and diffusion to them. On the back, you also have a lever. The lever, when you turn it, will allow you to spot the beam or flood the beam. And what this is essentially doing is moving the filament away and closer to the reflector, which allows you to narrow the beam or spread it out. Tungsten lights are also very affordable. With all the new technology with LED lighting, you can rent or buy many tungsten lights for really cheap. For their cost, they're also incredibly bright. One of the coolest things about tungsten too is they are rated at 100 CRI, which is color render index. We have a whole section dedicated to that later on, but the takeaway here is that the color fidelity of a tungsten light looks beautiful on your actor or your subject's skin. One of the downsides of tungsten units are their weight. They're heavy, they get really hot. Even just touching one of these things once it's been on for a few hours is a recipe for disaster without gloves. Another bummer about these lights is they are a fixed color temperature. By design, tungsten is 3200 Kelvin. I find the fixed color temperature to be a downside because I've gotten very used to lights that are either bicolor or full RGB, meaning that we can swing anywhere from 32 to 5600 Kelvin. Tungsten units, on the other hand, actually get warmer as you dim them, which in most circumstances is not very helpful. Not to mention the dimmer is not built into the light, so that's something else you're gonna have to rent as well. I also find another downside of these lights is they require a lot of power and usually require 1,000 watts to 2,000 watts on the lower end, and that alone maxes out most household circuits. One of the lights that we use a lot on a lot of our sets is a source for a LECO, and what a LECO is kind of comes from theater. Theater, when you have an actor moving across like a stage play, you have like a spotlight, and by design, they actually have leafs is the term for them, and you can blade down the light so it's only playing in a certain area. And if you're doing like a small little indie thing and you don't have all the flags to chop and shape the light, LECO is a great spotlight where you can have total control of it. It's punchy, it's tungsten, and we've used it countless times on videos.
We use LECOs a lot, or we've used them a lot for, kind of what Tom mentioned, party scenes where you might have like what looks like a spotlight searching around or party lights kind of moving around. It gives a lot of energy to a scene. One in particular was the Kyle Really Really Yeah video. We had 2 LECOs off to the side just searching and moving around the scene to kind of create energy like it was like a show or performance. We use them heavy for backlights or edge lights because they are, like you said, tungsten lights, and Joe, LECOs in particular are very punchy. Throwing it in the back to get a hard edge or backlight, or even from the roof, a backlight. Just there's a lot of different ways you can use them because they are so punchy. But yeah, one in particular talking about with having an operator off to the side, moving lights around to create energy. LECOs are used a lot. And we've used them for a lot of those, types of scenes. And in particular, I don't know if you can think of any offhand of any of your videos, but like I mentioned,
we did one for Lincoln Jesser In My Place, and that was a single source lighting. We had a black void we set up with a bunch of black duvetine, and over the black duvetine was just a single LECO. And a lot of people asked like, oh, what's that light? That looks so good. Literally it was one LECO and some fog, and that was it. And it honestly is one of my favorite shots we've done because it just gives a really moody, really strong, spicy backlight, and then the shadows on the face totally fall off. And I think it's honestly, it's with one light you can create something super dynamic.
And along with that video, we also did put a bunch of, I'm not sure, they were baby, I forget the
Those
technical
are
term.
par cans.
Par cans, we put par cans, which are tungsten if I'm not mistaken, across the ground in the back, and we had them on like a dimmer or a flasher, and they were like flashing, and just kind of created a stage light kind of scene, and we're flashing. I think that whole video is actually tungsten lighting, just different forms of it.
All right, thanks for watching that. If you made it all the way through, we're super, super pumped on this course and what it's gonna be and how it's gonna help people and actually be affordable for people, because there's a few kind of courses out there like this that honestly don't even touch to the level of experience, knowledge, and things that we're gonna show and touch on in this course. But as well, nothing will come even close to it on price point. My buddy Tom, who I'm doing this with and have been working out here in LA with for, I don't know, the better half of 7 years, 8 years, spent 80 plus, actually I believe 100,000 on film school. And we're taking everything, not only we learned from film school and he learned from film school, but our 8 years in the industry shooting music videos, feature films, commercials, and we're putting it in this course and dissecting everything. And this is everything you need to know, and it's gonna be at an affordable price. The link, it's not live yet. It'll be live in probably a month or so. But where you'll be able to find it, I'll put a link in the description below. That's where you'll be able to find it. And we will be doing like an early access thing where it'll be $50 off. If you basically pre-order it and get early access, you'll get 20 episodes right away, and you'll get the other episodes as we put them out. But we're gonna continue, and this is one of the big things of why I was saying I was quitting YouTube, because we're kind of shifting focus and basically building an online film school. Most of what I do on this channel has always been film related. And so it's still going to be that, but this is where I'm shifting my focus into this stuff, creating more in-depth, real world, tangible skills, knowledge, and things, and not just these little YouTube tutorials and little YouTube videos people put it out, but actually, from the real industry, pulling it into that and making that a real thing for you guys, where you can really, really learn how things work and how things are done. So thanks for watching this video, and hopefully I'll give a couple more teasers over the next month or so as to how this program is going to look. So super pumped, and yeah, thanks for watching.